Welcome to the first episode of what promises to be a critical conversation about one of our nation's most vital institutions. I'm Dr. Alfred Dawes, Shadow Minister of Health and Wellness, and a graduate of the University of the West Indies Medical School and a former chief resident in the Department of Surgery at the University Hospital. And over the coming days, we'll be taking you through a disturbing journey, one that exposes how the University Hospital of the West Indies, a beacon of Caribbean healthcare excellence, has been brought to its knees by mismanagement, corruption, and a fundamental betrayal of public trust. The recent revelations in the Auditor General's report are not just numbers on a page. They represent lives affected, resources squandered, and a healthcare system pushed to the brink. Today, let's start at the beginning, with the history of this great institution, its regional importance, and the crisis it now faces. To understand what we stand to lose, we first must understand what the University Hospital of the West Indies truly represents. In 1945, in the aftermath of World War II, the Committee of Higher Education in the colonies made a transformative recommendation: establish a university in the West Indies. Jamaica was chosen as a site, and critically, it was decided that the first faculty should be that of medicine, as there was a desperate shortage of medical professionals throughout the region. In October 1948, the University College of the West Indies, affiliated with the University of London, opened its doors with its first cohort of medical students. On January 18, 1953, Sir Winston Churchill himself toured the hospital. The message was clear: this was an institution of international significance, deserving of international support. The UHWI is not just another hospital. It is the first teaching hospital in the entire Caribbean region, and an internationally recognized academic institution. It serves as the premier regional referral center, providing other Caribbean countries with an affordable option for critical services. When medical students from across the English-speaking Caribbean seek world-class training, this is where they come. Today, the hospital operates 579 beds and is classified as a Type A regional referral hospital, the highest classification. Each year, an estimated 10% of the Jamaican population visits the hospital. But beyond Jamaica, UWI's impact radiates throughout the region. It graduates more than 300 healthcare workers annually at the undergraduate level and almost 40 specialists at the graduate level through the Faculty of Medical Sciences. These professionals don't just serve Jamaica. They return to Barbados, Trinidad, Grenada, Belize, Guyana, and every corner of the English-speaking Caribbean to provide medical care in their home countries. This is the institution that made me, as well as my colleagues, be able to serve you. This is what we stand to lose should we continue down this road. The Ministry of Health and Wellness itself has acknowledged that cases of chronic non-communicable diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, and kidney disease continue to burden the facility, causing chronic overcrowding and ward space problems. This isn't a new problem. As far back as 2017, reports warned that the overcrowding at the UHWI could cost the hospital its accreditation to train doctors and nurses. Resident doctors have written formally to management describing working conditions that fall below acceptable standards for a tertiary teaching hospital. They document that doctors currently lack adequate on-call rest facilities and functional beds, furniture, and even refrigerators. They state bluntly, these conditions fall below acceptable standards for a tertiary teaching hospital. In detailed internal memos, staff outline what they call long-standing infrastructural and supply challenges. Defective and unused beds, over 30 of them on the medical wards alone. Severe overcrowding in the emergency department, experienced by every patient and relative who visits. And this happens despite available ward spaces. The closure of the medical annex for over 17 months and recurrent shortages of basic items such as stationery. There are periodic shortages of essential medications and an inconsistent availability of blood tubes and IV fluids. Critically inadequate supplies of something as simple as betadine contribute to contaminating blood cultures and prolonged admissions due to inadequate antibiotic coverage. There are shortages of contrast and injector syringes in the radiology department, affecting the ability to get CAT scans. Consultants themselves have raised serious concerns about procurement priorities, writing, despite the lack of basic equipment and supplies, there seems to be a strong motivation by the hospital management to procure items that have not been requested by senior medical staff. They describe expensive imaging equipment purchased or leased without the requisite plans for regular maintenance. And note that even when equipment exists, restricted access to portable x-rays and insufficient access to C-arms in the operating suite is not being facilitated in an equitable manner. Meanwhile, they report that our work is being hampered by a lack of basic items such as air conditioning within the main operating theatre, defibrillators, and the provision of basic gases. They add that frequent calls by the consultants are largely being ignored. On accountability, is the alarm that UHWI is a fee-collecting entity for radiology services and pharmacy retail, yet no definite accounts with respect to hospital income from these activities seem to be forthcoming.
Wow.
Only rough estimates seem to be provided in reports by the hospital management, despite the presence of a billing office and an accounting department at the hospital.
Wow.
They wrote, this raises questions regarding the financial and accounting practices of the hospital. Consultants also requested basic transparency. The consultants wish to have further information regarding what the procurement process entails. For example, who are the persons responsible for generating the needs list that guide the procurement process? Information is required regarding whether members of staff, such as the consultants, have any say in what items are required and hence ordered. Are the procurement documents available as public records, past and present? Regarding clinic space, staff documented that there is a persistent shortage of functional clinic spaces at least 3 days per week. Several clinic cubicles are non-functional and some also lack working computers. With the recent addition of structural cardiology and stroke clinics, existing clinic space is no longer adequate to effectively accommodate. The Department of Medicine residents stated, we must state clearly that it is unreasonable and unsafe to expect staff to continue under these conditions for another month. These are not the words of politicians. These are the words of the people on the ground, consultants, residents, and interns, documenting in black and white how failed infrastructure and ignored complaints are putting patients and staff at risk. This is where we arrive at the heart of the crisis. It's not just that UHWI needs more resources, it's that the resources that have been allocated are not being used properly, transparently, or in the best interests of patients and the institution.
Wow.
The Auditor General has now confirmed what staff have been saying. The performance audit found that UHWI could not produce procurement documentation for 51 contracts valued at $521 million, making it impossible to verify whether the hospital got value for money or complied with the law.
Jesus.
The same report exposed the misuse of the hospital's tax-exempt status to import goods for private entities, depriving the state of millions of dollars in revenue. So while doctors are begging for basic supplies, functioning beds, defibrillators to save lives, and safe spaces to rest, hundreds of millions of dollars are flowing through a system that cannot even produce the paperwork to show what was bought, from whom, and why. When a hospital designed for 579 beds is admitting 120 to 150 emergency patients per day, what does that look like? It looks like patients lying on trolleys in hallways, family members standing for hours because there are no chairs, nurses trying to monitor multiple critically ill patients simultaneously because the wards are overflowing, and doctors making impossible decisions about who gets the limited ICU beds available and who they must let die. The UHWI does not exist in isolation. It's a part of the University of the West Indies, which serves 18 English-speaking countries and territories in the Caribbean. U is consistently ranked among the top universities in the developing world, and its medical faculties are central to training the region's healthcare workforce. When UHWI struggles, when it loses credibility to procurement scandals and governance failures, it doesn't just affect Jamaica. It affects the reputation of UWI. It affects the ability of Caribbean medical graduates to secure residency positions internationally. It affects the willingness of international partners to collaborate on research. It affects everything. When this institution is compromised by corruption and mismanagement, every country in the Caribbean suffers. You cannot restore public trust with more press releases, panels with obscure terms of references, and ribbon-cutting ceremonies. You need systemic reform. Today, We stand at a crossroads. On one path lies continued decline, an institution that slowly loses its regional accreditation, its ability to attract top faculty, its capacity to provide world-class care, an institution that becomes known not for its medical breakthroughs, but for its procurement scandals, where the brightest Caribbean minds choose to train elsewhere because they've lost faith in its future. On the other path lies renewal, but only if we demand accountability, transparency, and fundamental reform. Only if we insist that those responsible for the failures detailed in the Auditor General's report face consequences. Over the coming days, we'll dive deeper into each aspect of this crisis. In the upcoming episodes, we'll examine the HR crisis, staff complaints, controversial transfers, shortages in critical departments, and what it all means for patient care. In subsequent episodes, we'll explain exactly how procurement fraud works, who benefits, and why it is so hard to detect. We'll trace the networks of influence that have allowed this to happen. We'll provide a detailed analysis of the Auditor General's findings, and ultimately, we'll present a roadmap for saving the UHWI. I'm Dr. Alfred Dawes. Thank you for watching.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I want to encourage you to hit the like button. I also want to encourage you to share the live. And if you're not subscribed, I want to encourage you to subscribe. All right? And if you are a avid watcher, a frequent watcher of the platform, right? Whether you catch the replay or you watch me live, listen, from your watch, I don't have a problem. I really don't. From your watching the content, whether you want to watch the replay, watch the live, I don't have a problem, ladies and gentlemen. I also encourage you to tell me where you guys are watching from, what parts of the world, what parts of Jamaica, what parts of the Caribbean. You understand what I'm saying? Now, that was the first episode of a series of episodes from Dr. Alfred Dawes. If you're a foreigner, you're not aware, Dr. Alfred Dawes is unfortunately not the Minister of Health, but what they call it, what's the terminology they use? What's the terminology they use for the opposition? The spokesperson on health and wellness. Alright? They are the spokesperson on health. He's the spokesperson on health and wellness. Big up yourself, Tafari Brian from Kingston. Big up yourself. Thanks for the follow on TikTok, guys. We're on Bolo VNR 2.2 and Bolo VNR Clips and TikTok, Bolo VNR. So Dr. Alfred Dawes released his second episode today, which has to do with the HR crisis. HR crisis. There was a lot to unpack in the first episode. You heard him speak about the procurement and consultants, lack of procurement in regards to the $521 million that was not procured over 51 contracts. We saw in the news, and maybe I should play that for you. We saw in the news where, like you said, the doctors and the nurses at Cornwall Regional Hospital had validated the Auditor General's report. They surely validated the Auditor General's report. It's a damning report. It's a damning situation. And ultimately, we have to call a spade in regards to the leadership. First, we have Christopher Tufton, Paulo Edwin, and then we have Andrew Holness. Andrew Holness is the leader of the Jamaica Labour Party. He's also, thank you so much for the gift, Tafari. He's also, the Prime Minister of Jamaica. Whether we like it or not, he's the face. He's the standard that represents the entire country. And under his watch, over the last 10 years, the healthcare ministry and services in the island has been going straight down, all the way down. And here, this is where the ish hit the fan and it's all over the walls. When you have dirt and you try to cover it under the rug, After a while, it starts to sprinkle in the atmosphere, and then your sinus, people start to get sick because it's just bare dirt and muck and you know what I'm saying? It's very unhealthy. So Jamaica health sector is in an unhealthy state. Our entire health sector is in a very unhealthy state, ladies and gentlemen. And as an example, to show you the facts on that, and you know, the government would want to tell you that, oh, this is just an isolated incident. No, it's not. It's not an isolated incident. It is not this has been a consistent thing. But what they have done is they have offered us a bunch of PR, and they have used buzzwords like with bad mind and September 3rd gone already, and you're playing politics and all bag of nonsense, when it's really about the quality of life of the people of the country. That's what we are concerned about. Listen to the nurses. Listen to the nurses, ladies and gentlemen.
Healthcare workers against the system. Nurses assigned to the Accident and Emergency Department at the Cornwall Regional Hospital staged a protest outside the facility on Friday.
They cited a rodent issue and severe overcrowding, Ramarda Lyons reports.
What was that? A rodent issue and an overcrowding issue. Meaning the facility cannot facilitate the amount of patients that are coming there. Mainly because they're understaffed and under-equipped. Right? And remember in the video that I just played, one of the things that they spoke about was that the request of items that was given in UHWI at the hospital, the University Hospital of the West Indies, they were not getting the items they requested. The items they requested to be procured for the hospital to be efficient, albeit that Cornwall Regional Hospital is a different hospital now. I'm just showing you. Therein lies one of the problems as well. So it's all around the island that we're having this issue, ladies and gentlemen. And it's easily fixed. You just have to put the right persons in government, right? And managing, Patrick Allen, big up, and managing the system. It is quite clear that the wrong persons are in government and the wrong person is managing healthcare. And I'm questioning whether the actions of Christopher Tufton are intentional. Because it's not as if he doesn't know the concerns of the Auditor General. There has been several reports. How long are you going to be in a job and your boss tells you, listen, these are the changes that I want to be made. And if you don't make them, how long does it take for your boss to fire you? Jamaica, what are you waiting on to fire Christopher Tufton? And you know, I really can't blame, no, I'm going to blame him because this is an illegitimate government. There's a question around their legitimacy. So I'm not even going to go to September 3rd anymore. There's serious questions surrounding their legitimacy as a government. And that whole election, there's serious questions about the legitimacy, constitutional questions, unconstitutional practices that should be challenged in court and aired in court, especially surrounding Andrew Holness' seat. But I digress. Right? Listen to the doctors and nurses.
Nobody is supposed to live like that. I don't care nobody wants it. Sit down on chair from yesterday. Right? And they still want me to stay back. I gotta sign myself out.
A visibly frustrated patient who...
The man said him sit down on the chair from yesterday. And they want him to sit down on the chair. The man said him have to sign himself out.
ran out of patients at Cornwall Regional Hospital Friday morning.
The St. Vincent National said the treatment was below par.
St. Vincent National, a smaller island than ours. I thought Jamaica was prosperous. I thought everything was, you know, wow, it was amazing. You know how funny it is, guys? What the supporters of the labor rights do, you know, is praise the government, and when they see actual flaws, they go, but oh, we're a third world country. So, you know, come on, you guys are expecting too much. Which is it? Are we at a high standard? Are we growing? Is the economy doing well? All the things that they say is happening in Jamaica while this government is actually running the country. If you look at their list that they put out in before the election, praising themselves, this booklet of nonsense, praising themselves, you would think that Jamaica is just like a utopia of good institutions, just well-oiled machine. Just, you know, I remember them saying that the world is going to actually use how they deal with Hurricane Melissa as a case study. Well, this is happening 3 months. Well, during Hurricane Melissa, after Hurricane Melissa, and right now presently with the hospitals. This is not a new thing. You understand what I'm saying? It's not a new thing, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, the doctors came out. One of the doctors came out in Westmoreland, I believe. No, St. James, Sablamar. You remember the doctor that came out and was talking about the inhumane conditions that they were living in? They didn't even have water. They didn't even have food. The doctors have been operating as supermen and women while being human beings. They have been working in impossible conditions. And it's not that they have to, ladies and gentlemen. The resources are there to change the conditions, because ultimately what happens is the people suffer. And this man is one of the persons that suffered. The man from St. Vincent. Listen to what he's saying.
The Lions reports.
Nobody is supposed to live like that. I don't care what nobody wants to say. Sit down on chair from yesterday, right? And they still want me to stay, but I gotta sign myself out.
A visibly frustrated patient who ran out of patience at Cornwall Regional Hospital Friday morning.
Wow.
The St. Vincent National said the treatment was below par.
I can't live like that. I'm a human being, I'm not a dog.
In the background,
the man said, I'm a human being, I'm not a dog. So he's equating the treatment that he got while there, one deserving of a dog, ladies and gentlemen. If you need to understand the gravity and the decay of the situation, the gross, the erroneousness, the egregiousness of the situation at Cornwall Regional Hospital, please, he summed it up right there. I am not a dog. I'm a human being. So I check myself out. And I'm telling you right now, there is veterinarian clinics and hospitals in the world that treat dogs better than, or have better facilities and equipment and services than Cornwall Regional Hospital. I kid you not. I challenge anybody who say I lie, me I tell.
The frustrated guys. Healthcare workers ratting out their management over its handling of a rodent situation. A sign pointing to the emergency area.
Wow.
But the real emergency was on the outside.
Wow.
Others injecting public attention on a long-standing infrastructure problem.
Hi, Crystal.
No.
Focus diverted from patients like this one. Lines of workers, as long as those in the hospital, of patients waiting for beds. This is the scene inside. Jamaica has long pushed tourism, but beach chairs in a hospital hallway is a strange phenomenon. The nurses said.
Beach chairs, Crystal. Beach chairs in a hospital hallway. Beach chairs. Beach. Only it's not the beach.
Said it doesn't sit well with them.
We have to be taking care of patients on the floor. That's not hygienic. Patients sitting on the chair for a week, 3 weeks or more. We don't have enough bed space to care for our patients effectively. That's not safe for our patients. We're crying out here for our patients and for ourselves.
Wow.
Of course, don't have enough staff to manage all of these patients. Sometimes you have one nurse to 50 people, 30 people. Makes no sense. The nurses.
One nurse to 50 people and 30 people. One nurse to 50 people and 30 people. One nurse. One nurse. Don't you guys see? It's not just the healthcare system. There's a similar issue where with education, the teachers are migrating. What did Christopher Tufton say to the nurses? Leave. I know he's begging them to come. To what? The people, the servants, must sacrifice. What has the government officials sacrificed? They have given themselves a 200 to 300% increase. They have made sure that they're able to take care of their family and themselves very well. Looked at the nurses and the teachers and told them the first year 0% increase. You guys remember that? You guys remember that? 0% increase. What sacrifices is Christopher Tufton making? What sacrifice? What was Christopher Tufton doing in the pandemic? Writing a book? Telling people if they don't, in a community, if they want water, it better them take the joke. What sacrifices is Christopher Tufton making, guys? This man is the only health minister that I've ever seen in the history of the world that has been through so much scandal and so much erroneous mismanagement and still have a job. And this is why Andrew Holness is going to take equal blame in my book for all of this. This is too much. This is absolutely too much.
Very distraught. The people, 30 people, makes no sense. The nurses are very distraught. Their health is at risk. The patients are also at risk, and we can't take it anymore. There are currently over 100 patients in the area, and it's supposed to house maybe about 35.
So they're dealing with 300% of the workload that they're supposed to deal with. More than 300%. It should be 30 patients and it's over 100. Mighty God of Daniel. This is the reality at the Cornwall Regional Hospital.
Excess of over 65 patients, and on Thursday alone, 88 patients waited in the A&E for beds.
And my nurses have
88 patients waited in the A&E for beds. 88. Like and share the video, guys. Thank you.
to code patients that is provide resuscitative care on the floor. That is inhumane.
On the floor. Resuscitation on the floor. I'm going to get to that, Crystal. Don't move. I'm going to get to that.
And my nurses have to code patients that is provide resuscitative care on the floor. That is inhumane. And at this time, the nurses just cannot take anymore. We even have some rodent infestation. They have communicated before, and we still haven't gotten a response.
The hospital's management called a meeting about 10 a.m. with the displeased nurses. Following this, the media, Dr. Delroy Frey, clinical coordinator for the Western Regional Health Authority, blamed Hurricane Melissa.
Sir, you just eroded any semblance of integrity that we thought you had with that statement. Blaming Hurricane Melissa. Knowing damn well this has been an ongoing issue before Hurricane Melissa. Unbelievable. This is what they do, you know. These people that are sellouts, you know. To come and run PR, you know. And try to pretty up and throw paint on a pig swallowing in the mud, you know. They might try to throw makeup on a pig that is wallowing in the mud, you know. The healthcare system is like a pigsty. It's like a pig wallowing in the mud. And here this man comes, whatever his name is, right? Talking about he blames Hurricane Melissa. Tell us if God was like man, you see?
Our facility was damaged and we are now running 156 beds. You can see right away that our bed capacity has been reduced.
And you know what it is too? Look how long Hurricane. So they knew the situation. So let us work with that. It was Hurricane Melissa. Why that not fix it? Why wasn't there any emergency procurement to fix the hospital? Where was it? Dr. Orin, big up. Where was the emergency procurement to fix the hospital from October 28th? The government knew that the hospital, because he must say a hurricane Melissa caused this, you know. So from that time, the government knew why wasn't the situation remedied. Them can't get listen to me, don't bother make me start talking, man. Right? Them friend and company can't get, them Ben Spunani can't get 85 million worth of money, you know. Without proper procurement, you know, contract, you know. You can have 521 million for UHWI, you know, without any procurement paper, you know. But you can't find the money. All of the money that we get from all around the world. You can't find the money to fix the hospital from October 28th. See to say it is Hurricane Melissa is the problem. Blame it on Melissa. Fine. We not mean about it, you know, but let us work with that. Why it not fix it? Why hasn't there been emergency procurement to fix the rodent problem? Why hasn't there been emergency procurement to put in more beds in the hospital? To clean out the moles? The man go in, when they go the other day, fly go all around the world and look for nurse. So the nurse them there where you find Christopher Tufton. Where are the nurses? Oh, on the buck up in a say, on have to pay them nurse them more money. If you find place to keep them and plus pay them. I wonder if that happen. So I realize so I couldn't do that because everybody go ask, what are these nurses getting paid and why we not pay the Jamaican nurse them? I wonder if that happen. That is another conversation, ladies and gentlemen. The rabbit hole of mismanagement in the healthcare system in Jamaica under Andrew Holness and Christopher Tufton is rotten to the core. Rotten. And I'm calling on the people of Jamaica, listen to me. We have to remove these people using legislation. And we have something called the MAGNITSKY Act. When you guys are ready to write down my number, if you don't have it already, please I want you to WhatsApp me and I'll send you the Magnitsky Act, the link. We need 10,000 signatures. You heard what I said? We are currently at almost 4,000. We need 6,000 plus signatures. We're going to use the Magnitsky Act to battle corruption from an international level in Jamaica. And also human rights violations. All of the police, them will analyze the people them on the road, abuse them in a traffic stop and all them something there. Yeah, man. The government and what them are saying. Yeah, man. Human rights violation, man. Yes. The Magnitsky Act is the tool to do so, ladies and gentlemen. My number is 876 451 6535.
By, over 50%. This has been a challenge for us.
He added,
A lot have been done, but big things require time in order to fix it.
regarding bed capacity,
When you hear this, man, these things require time to fix it. Yeah, man, Desi, thank you so much, man. Thank you. And guys, my moderator is putting it in the chat. Nightbat puts it up every 5 minutes. Right? And Desi is also putting it up in the chat. Alright, on YouTube.
In 1 week to 2 weeks, we should be able to get that. Because
In 2 weeks, they should be able to get it. I'm going to ask the question again. How long ago was Hurricane Melissa? How long ago was Hurricane Melissa? In the last 2.5 months. Why the 2 week couldn't fit in that? At some point. Because it busts out now and it stink and it reached the media in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks.
administration is moving aggressively to have the area reestablished.
The administration is moving aggressively. Where was the aggression since October 28th or November 1st? Where was the aggression? You see, when they ask the right questions, they expose these people, you know. Yeah, man.
We're going to get what's called, a dome that can house somewhere between 100 to 150 beds.
CEO Charmaine Williams Beckford says the rodent issue is being worked on as well.
Since Melissa, you would have expected, given what is happening in the communities, and we're within a community in Mount Salem, that there seems to be an increase in rodent on the compound. But we have our partners, or primary health care, St. James Public Health Services. They are starting a program, and the program should include our campus.
They also addressed
They are starting a program. Starting, you know, start yet. Keyword, starting a program. After 3 months, look how long the rodent thing bust out. Uno just starting a program.
the workers shortage.
We have asked our resident doctors who take call from the specialty to, be there on the ground to help where their, help is needed.
Then una ask them for the on the ground where help is needed. But there's an issue with them getting paid the right overtime money. Imagine Andrew Holness and Christopher Tufton, them a get for them fat check. Nah, itch. You guys are not giving the doctors and the nurses the right overtime money.
says emergency care was not affected by the protest. Romarda Lyons, TVJ News.
Wow. Let's go to the second episode now, ladies and gentlemen, because that is a good build-up of what has been taking place recently in terms of reports and the erroneousness and the grossness and the disgustingness and the disgracefulness of the healthcare system in Jamaica right now. And it was last year, July, I believe, if not June, it was June. 24 babies died in 25 days at Jubilee Hospital. An average of a baby a day life was lost. 25 human beings. And the government tried to blame the mothers, when the evidence on the ground says otherwise. Here is some of the evidence coming to light, ladies and gentlemen. Some of the evidence coming to light. We're going to see some of the reasons why 24 babies died in 25 days. Hi, Mrs. Buchanan. Welcome. How are you doing? Right? We're going to hear.
And are graduates of the University of the West Indies. Welcome back to UC on Life Support. I'm Dr. Alfred Dawes. In episode 1, we laid out how the University Hospital of the West Indies has been crippled by overcrowding, broken infrastructure, and a procurement system so weak that the Auditor General could not find documents for over $521 million in contracts. In this episode, we turn to the people trying to hold that failing system together, the doctors and nurses, as well as other staff whose letters and memos show a hospital where morale is collapsing, workloads are unsafe, and leadership decisions are driving good people away.
What a summary. So this episode is focused on the direct words coming from the doctors and the nurses' experience. I've heard that a lot of doctors are moving to their private practice. They genuinely want to help people, ladies and gentlemen, but what is happening in where the government is concerned and healthcare? No, it is too much for them. It's too much.
A senior doctor wrote recently to the medical chief of staff, "We are buckling under the weight of the large number of areas to cover." In that same letter, he lists 15 staff members who have exited or are expected to exit the program within 6 to 12 months, many migrating or moving to fellowships overseas.
Wow.
Who have exited or are expected to exit the program within 6 to 12 months.
So this article says taking flight. Money benefits quality of life, causing doctors and nurses to flee Jamaica after training. Wednesday, November 16, 2016. Zine? This was from 2016, you know? Damn. So that was the year, the beginning year of the administration. Wow.
Many migrating or moving to fellowships overseas.
Tufton tells nurses to be more committed to patient than pay. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't make this up. I love the receipts that Mr. Dr. Alfred Dawes is bringing already. Because that statement he made, make sure you love what you do. And if you don't love it, leave it. The only way you are going to practice with compassion is if your heart and soul is into it and is not for the money. Tufton told the 216 nursing students. What a wicked guy. What a wicked guy. This same guy that took a 200 to 300% increase in fee money and also voted for it, why didn't he tell himself to make sure you love what you do if you don't love, if you love what you do and if you don't love it, leave it? Why never leave politics? Why Christopher Tufton never leave politics? Him damn out of order, man. What a rank individual. Why him never leave politics? Why Christopher Tufton never leave politics? Leave. Why you guys was pushing this thing to get increased? You should have leave politics. You should have go be a politician overseas. Seeing as money is more important to you in your job. Because you don't love it. You don't love the people. You don't love to serve. You love your pocket. And you love your Benz Punani having fear pocket full too. Right? With contracts that she never have to get because there was other companies there that already was doing that. Not true.
He warned that the new recruits were extremely junior candidates and cannot make up for the losses of the seniors.
You hear that? The new recruits, the one that might just come on, them can't make up for the seniors. They need the seniors to teach the juniors while on the job. But the seniors are leaving because they're being mistreated.
Bluntly, as you can see, our position is precarious.
The man go on in a letter and say, I am appealing again to please consider giving the extraordinary situation we are faced with and allow us to keep the residents that have applied for fellowship and properly service MO. I will send you a different report on consultant staff and successions. I thank you for your time. These are receipts.
The Department of Medicine residents echoed this in a formal December 2025 letter to the CEO. They describe a progressive reduction in staffing levels, noting that vacancies have remained unfilled even when residents, medical officers, and senior house officers leave.
Wow. Concerningly, we have observed a progressive reduction in staffing levels, even when vacancies arise following the departure of residents, medical officers, and senior house officers. Even when there's a vacancy. Guys, you know how Jamaican people love work? Jamaican people love work, you know. Don't get it twisted. Jamaican people love to work. You understand what I say? Because listen, when you look on the job fair, them, there's so much people out there. This wave of people now not looking work is because of a failure of the workforce and the work system, you know. Right? It's a failure of the workforce now. I have went to school several times and I am one of those. I not look no job. Brother, I rather do this and work for myself. It didn't even make no sense, bro. If me now go college, if you go get me my qualifications for my major, if me now get the money for do that, that's why I was so listen. I'm the first in the family. Well, I couldn't have gotten the first in the family, right? But what I could have done was use, like, I'd probably go to college for the teaching part of it. Just to get the scholarship. That me can actually work in a field for years and pay back my student loan. Now, not paying it back, but the forgiveness part of it, innit? You get what I'm saying? So, given that I would have been a teacher in that area, I also would know how to do the work, the practical work in the area as well. So I could still have my business, right, and have my firm, and have partners while still teaching under a People's National Party government and the plans that they had. Yo, I thought about all of this and I never said it on here. But I was very excited about the People's National Party winning the last election and what it would mean not only for myself, but for all other well-thinking Jamaicans that value education and was smart and would have used the plans and the execution of the People's National Party to benefit themselves and their family, rightfully so. But here we are. The situation is this. Mighty God. No,
2025 letter to the CEO. They describe a progressive reduction in staffing levels, noting that vacancies have remained unfilled even when residents, medical officers, and senior house officers leave. Over the last 2 months, the department has been operating with only 6 interns. 2 of them were ill at the time of writing, when a minimum of 12 interns are required for the department to function safely. And while the UHWI claims there is no money and no space for additional interns, Jamaican doctors finishing training in Cuba and China are being told there are no jobs for them at UWI. Despite the hospital's own departments document...
Wait, let's go back. Wait a minute. What?
2 of them were ill at the time of writing, when a minimum... Over the last 2 months, the department has been operating with only 6 interns. 2 of them were ill at the time of writing, when a minimum of 12 interns are required for the department to function safely.
So, only 6 of them was working. 2 of them fell ill, but the required amount is 12. So that's a third of the workforce necessary. So that is a 2/3 deficiency in the efficiency of the work. And that is an overload of 2/3 more overload on the 4 persons, the 4 nurses that are there, because remember 2 of them ill enough. So these 4 persons are doing 12 people's jobs. So the 4 of them would have to take on the workload of 2 other nurses. Mighty God. So they're taking on the workload for themselves and 2 other persons. Man, listen. You can't make this up.
Only 6 interns. 2 of them were ill at the time of writing, when a minimum of 12 interns are required for the department to function safely.
Wow.
And
safely. So the safety of the people, we're talking about healthcare, the safety of the people are at risk. Man, listen to me now, man. Listen to me now. Listen to me now. If the people of Jamaica does not rise up in concert, right? If the labor right them don't wake up, if the labor right them sit down and allow this to continue, I'm telling you, I pray that God give them the right karma. Because you have to be heartless against the Jamaican people to not see the gravity of this situation. This has nothing to do with politics, you know? Some of these nurses could lay all the labor right. It's got nothing to do with politics. This have to do with the proper health care of the people. But we have to look at the government of the day and who is running the place, and look at the fact that these are long-standing issues. And as a person, we are the managers, we are the owners of the establishment. We are the CEO, they are our servants, them work for us. Our tax dollars pay them. So if they're not doing their jobs, they should be fired. They are jeopardizing the lives of the people that come for these services in these facilities. Wait until it happens to your mother. Wait until it happens to your daughter. Wait until it happens to your father, your son, your niece, your nephew. Wait until that happens, man. Yeah, man. That a time later go really hit on you, know. All I know that is making excuses on the labor rights. You make excuses. Wait until it happens to your daughter, your auntie, your niece, and your nephew. A lot of you will be crying in silence. Right? Because I'm so die-hearted, you're not even going to come out and ball out. Because on a known labor right. I don't ever make excuse for the government. You cannot be objective. You call wrong right and right wrong. Woe unto unu, you know. Woe unto unu, man.
The UHWI claims there is no money and no space for additional interns. Jamaican doctors finishing training.
No money. Jamaican medical professionals unable to secure internship at local hospitals. Mighty God.
Department to function safely. And while the UHWI claims there is no money and no space for additional interns, Jamaican doctors finishing training in Cuba and China are being told there are no jobs for them at UWI. Cuba and China are being told there are no jobs for them at UWI, despite the hospital's own departments documenting dangerous shortages on the ground. The same December letter from the residents.
This has to be intentional. This has to be intentional. This is some sinister type stuff. It's like they want people to lose their lives at the hospital. How can you have a shortage in the proper professionals? A 2/3 shortage. But when the people pass, them can't get an internship. Doctors we study at other places can't get any job there. There's no yo, me I get mad, you know? Me I get mad.
Money and no space for additional interns, Jamaican doctors finishing training in Cuba and China are being told there are no jobs for them at UWI.
There are no jobs for them at UWI. Finishing their studies in China and Cuba. Does that have anything to do with USA? No, I don't think that. That would be far-fetched. That would be far-fetched because they're still Jamaicans, but they studied in Cuba and China.
Despite the hospital's own departments documenting dangerous shortages on the ground. The same December letter from the residents detailed how just over a year ago, the department was forced from a 6-day work week to a strictly 5-day work week without any compensatory increase in staffing, even though internal medicine alone accounted for roughly 1/4 to 1/3 of the hospital's admissions. The residents describe working 9 to 12-hour shifts while being compensated for 8 hours and being pulled from academic sessions to maintain service coverage.
This was what Mr. Floyd, Mr. Lambert Brown was talking about, the overtime, the working of overtime and working long hours. In addition, on days when academic activities are scheduled, academic meaning school, the combination of high patient volumes and insufficient staffing often necessitates prolonged ward rounds, causing residents to miss portions of their academic session. So these interns are missing school. Good night. You see I watch Andre nervous? Mighty God. No wonder my mother could look at me a while ago. Because she watched Andre too, in the room there. She watched Andre. I'm going to check it out after this. It says here that this pattern is unsustainable and undermines the structure and intent of the academic program. Exactly. They are there to learn. So because they have a staff that is reduced, the interns are now being worked instead of balancing work with their academia and getting certified. This is modern day slavery, you know. This is modern day slavery. That's exactly what this is. This is institutionalized slavery. You heard what I said? And it's dangerous. This is dangerous. This is an urgent need there is an urgent need to reevaluate how work days are prioritized, as the integrity of the doctor of medicine programs, as well as the physical and mental well-being of our doctors, is increasingly compromised. You hear that? The physical and mental well-being of our doctors are compromised. No wonder the doctors don't get out of exhaustion, ladies and gentlemen. The physical and mental well-being of the doctors are being increasingly compromised. Mighty God of Daniel. No, sir.
They write that this pattern is unsustainable and undermines the structure and intent of the academic program. And with a call for an urgent reevaluation of how workdays are prioritized, because the physical and mental well-being of doctors is, quote, increasingly compromised, end quote. The consequences are clear in their own words. They are noticing increased sick calls and absenteeism among staff, markedly reduced morale and rising fatigue among doctors, prolonged hospital stays for patients because the daily tasks cannot all be completed with that staff complement.
Right.
And as a result, there are higher bed occupancy levels and system congestion and overcrowding. In a teaching hospital,
wow, guys, the entire system has been compromised. The entire system has been compromised. Mighty, no man.
when academic time is routinely sacrificed to service an overburdened system, training quality deteriorates. That affects every future patient in Jamaica and the wider Caribbean. Human resources management and corporate culture are not just about numbers. They are about how people are treated. The consultants have already described a hostile working environment where there is no recourse for grievances, and speak of an atmosphere of intimidation and lack of support by the hospital management.
Dictatorship. Dictatorship. This is the rule of the... We tell them to say, I'm modern day slavery. Somebody said, I'm going to watch Andrea nervous. How I go on?
Because doctors are walking with dead body and nurses. And they can't believe.
Mighty God.
They warn that a single powerful person can engineer somebody's removal simply because of a difference of opinion and nothing related to job competence.
This is us. This is the dictatorship as well, ladies and gentlemen. The rule of a dictatorial state. Manufactured, engineered. And listen, oh no, you guys know this is Jamaica. You guys know. Once you put somebody in place and then feel like they don't have too much power, it's going to be abused. It is going to be abused. Let's play that again. Engineered
for grievances and speak of corporate culture.
Basically, the nurses and the doctors they're afraid to talk about the actual things that are happening. So when you're sick, the nurse them come out of university, a Cornwall Regional Hospital, ladies and gentlemen, a long time it happen. A body get bad and not just what the yeah. No make them fool or no. Inez Wagwan, good night. No man, God definitely we need God help. That for sure. To break the curse. There is a curse on this island and it's called JLP. Yes man, we have to get this a curse are broken man.
Not just about numbers. They are about how people are treated. The consultants have already described a hostile working environment where there is no recourse for grievances, and speak of an atmosphere of intimidation and lack of support by the hospital management.
That means if you don't comply,
They warn that a single powerful person can engineer somebody's removal simply because of a difference of opinion and nothing related to job competence.
You imagine, me and you just have a difference in opinion and you just engineer something for me to lose my job. Not because I'm not qualified, you know. Not because I'm not the best doctor in the place, you know. Not because I'm not the best consultant, you know. Because you have a difference of opinion with me and you there want level of authority and have some type of link with somebody in authority where you can get me fired. That is the foundation of skullduggery, the foundation of corruption, nepotism, cronyism.
Support that picture. In one hospital-wide letter addressed to all prescribers, management issues a cease and desist order instructing doctors to stop directing prescriptions to be filled outside the university hospital's internal pharmacy. The letter warns that any such practice may be considered a breach of policy and will attract disciplinary action. And
people now hear this. Prescription must be written in a manner that ensures patient can obtain the prescribed items directly through the hospital designate. This sound like a somebody pocket are full up. This sound like somebody are protect their money. This not sound like this is the best interest of the patient. And yes, so the skullduggery they took. The pharmacy, remember the Auditor General, yo, UHWI, yo, this no normal. This no, are you guys, listen, hold on there, man. Make me go back. Because I am certain that there was a part in the first episode that spoke about the pharmacy, or even the Auditor General's report that spoke about the pharmacy. You understand? In episode 1, beds, let me see, critical periodic shortages of essential. See, periodic shortages of essential medication. Zane. So if you have essential medications that are short, why would you put out a memorandum or a statement to tell them to make sure that they write the prescription in a way that, not because we are short, don't send them outside? That is not in the best interest of the patient. That's not in the best interest of the patient. You want to ensure that the patient gets the best medicine or the best treatment. Wow. Wow. Yo, this is dangerous, guys. We are in some damn trouble. You hear what I said? Yeah, we are in some dangerous trouble. What? Let me see if we can find another part here. Provisions of blah 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 blah. There, no, that's a detail of some of the deficiencies. Further information. This is about the procurement. But that's a skim through, ladies and gentlemen. There is a persistent shortage of functional clinic spaces. Days to weeks. Or 3 days per week. All this money spent, not procured, no procurement, but yet there's all these deficiencies. And then they're gonna tell them to make sure that, you know, they put out, yo, this is some real sick stuff, you know? Outside.
Prescribers Management issues a cease and desist order, instructing doctors to stop directing prescriptions to be filled outside the university hospital's internal pharmacy. The letter warns that any such practice may be considered a breach of policy and will attract disciplinary action. And it frames it as a threat to the hospital's financial viability.
I told you somebody trying to protect their bag. Who is that? Who is responsible for the pharmaceuticals at the UHWI? Who is responsible? Could it be such man Fred? Andre Stevens, the exposed? Could it be? Ladies and gentlemen, could it be?
And it frames it as a threat to the hospital's financial viability.
All medical personnel are required to support this process to prevent the hospital from being financially disenfranchised. Wait a minute. Wasn't that the same hospital that started to charge for persons to use the car park? Yo, it's a feeding tree. It's a feeding tree. Please note that this corresponds serves as a formal cease and desist directive regarding the above practice. Non-compliance will be treated as a breach of hospital's policy and addressed accordingly. Damn.
On paper, it looks like protecting internal revenue might sound reasonable. But when you place this alongside what the doctors are actually saying about the shortages of basic medications, inconsistent supplies of IV fluids, and the recurrent out-of-stock medications on the wards, it reads very differently.
Ladies and gentlemen, if this stuff are not there, you have to the ethical and professional thing to do and moral thing to do in the best interest of the patient is to send them outside of the hospital to get the prescription. So automatically, by proxy, by default, the fact that the basic stuff are not there and the patients are there that need it, they must go get it somewhere else when you tell the doctors them to not send them out anywhere else. What you tell them to do? Make blood out of stone? You tell them, what are you telling them to do? Divert the patient into some other, I don't know, they call it medication that you guys have, and not necessarily the one that is best suited for them. Isn't that potentially going to compromise the patient if that is what is happening? And given the wording of it, I don't see how they are going to do it any other way. This is incredible, ladies and gentlemen.
Are effectively being told, keep the prescriptions inside our system, even when the patients face delays, out of stock medication or higher costs. And if you don't, you could be disciplined.
Exactly.
That is not a patient-centered culture.
No.
That is a revenue-centered culture.
Bingo. So I remember when Dr. Dawes told the patients that, told the doctors and nurses that, listen, if you want, and I'm going to go for the quote, ladies and gentlemen. I remember the timestamp, don't worry. Here it is.
Many migrating or moving.
This quote from Tufton. Tufton tells nurses to be more committed to patients than pay. Make sure that you love what you do, and if you don't love it, leave it. So the UHWI need to take this advice. Good night, Colleen. The UHWI need to take this advice. Make sure you love what you do, and if you don't love it, leave it. The only way you're going to practice with compassion is if your heart and soul is into it. And it's not for the money. UHWI, are you listening? Whoever is benefiting from these sales of these pharmaceuticals, right? Make sure your heart and soul is in it and it's not for the money. How can you tell the staff that they should not send patients to go to other pharmacies outside of the UHWI while you guys have basic medication that you're short of? Just somebody make that make sense. Make it make sense. Furthermore, when it comes to patients, them like convenience. So they would love to know that the institution that they are at, they can get the medication that they need. That's like a no-brainer. So the fact that they made an invoice, a notification sent out, a notice sent out to the staff not to do that, it tells you the intention. It's not a positive intention by the UHWI, whoever is dealing with the pharmacy side of things. Yeah, their intentions are nefarious. Yeah, man, their intentions are not clean. It's not good. It's all about the money. It's not about the benefit of the patient. By using your reasoning of deduction, we all can agree that are sensible people. That those are not good intentions for the patients. Wow. My goodness, no. Boy, Jamaica, may I tell you, hey, what is next?
Is a revenue-centered culture that has no place in a teaching hospital. In addition to being short of colleagues to work with, the doctors also have very little supplies and equipment to work with. Periodic shortages of essential medications and inconsistent availability of blood tubes and IV fluids, which directly delay treatment and lengthen hospital stays, are far too common. They complain of critically inadequate supplies of betadine, which is used to clean areas of the skin. Not having that results in having contaminated blood cultures, resulting in prolonged admissions. There are shortages of contrast and injector syringes in radiology, limiting diagnostic capacity, and several clinic cubicles are non-functional, some without computers. Existing clinic space is no longer adequate to effectively accommodate patient volumes. And importantly, academic time is under threat. Doctors recommend protecting scheduled academic sessions and employing additional phlebotomists to draw blood and support staff if intern numbers cannot be restored. But these proposals remain largely unimplemented. This is what happens.
So basically, the problems that the interns are facing, ladies and gentlemen, they have voiced those issues, but they have been ignored. There has been no remedy. No remedy. And who do you think suffer? One, the nurses and the staff and the patient. It boils down back to the patient. The patient is the one that suffers.
When leadership treats the UHWI staff as an expendable resource, residents and interns are expected to cover more patients with fewer colleagues while also absorbing the fallout from the procurement failures, chronic shortages, and overcrowded wards. Consultants and senior doctors are threatened implicitly or explicitly with disciplinary action if they challenge policies they believe harm patients or staff. On top of this, staff point to unjustifiable transfers of senior directors.
Unjustifiable transfers of senior directors. Oh, you're not working with the program of my being a dictator. So I'm going to remove you and put you somewhere else. Although you are very qualified for the job. No, you see, when it comes to patients and doctors, familiarity is very important, you know. A trust is built. It come like a taxi where you take. You know, say a good taxi driver and he always drives safe with you for years. It come like your barber. It's very personal. You understand what I say? The relationship you have with your barber. This is somebody you trust to put one razor blade on your neck. You don't just trust anybody with that. Yo, Virgin, a beer slap this agwan. Peer slap this. Peer slap this agwan, brother.
To cover more patients with fewer colleagues while also absorbing the fallout from the procurement failures, chronic shortages, and overcrowded wards. Consultants and senior doctors are threatened implicitly or explicitly with disciplinary action if they challenge policies they believe harm patients or staff. On top of this, staff point to unjustifiable transfers of senior directors, moves that are widely seen inside the hospital as punishment rather than rational HR planning. When the HR director advised against one such transfer as it breached the rules, he himself was later transferred to a newly created role, thus neutralizing his ability to challenge the CEO's decision.
Yo, Jamaica, we have to clean. You know, this whole thing has to be cleaned up. This has to be cleaned up. That has to be cleaned up. No. Yeah, did you hear what he said? Do you understand what the man just said a while ago? Wow. Let's play that back.
Moves that are widely seen inside the hospital as punishment rather than rational HR planning. When the HR director advised against one such transfer as it breached the rules, he himself was later transferred to a newly created role.
So the HR director said, whoa, this is against the rules. You're not permitted to do what you're doing. It's against the rules. The man them say, yo, listen, I didn't ask anything about a badness, a dictatorship, this a danship we are dealing with. As a matter of fact, me have the power to remove you from your post. I'm going to put you on one post where I neuter your powers. Does that sound familiar, ladies and gentlemen? Didn't the commissioner of police try to pull that trigger? Isn't that in court right now? Didn't the commissioner of police try to overstep his own powers and try to remove the brethren? Isn't that what is happening? Don't you see the signs, the pieces of the puzzle, the individuals involved, the people they are associated with, the ministries it's happening in? Don't you see, ladies and gentlemen? Whoa. They all use the same playbook. Crystal, you're bright. You're bright, Crystal. It's the same modus operandi. Same modus operandi. If you don't conform with what I want and how I want it done, whether it goes against the rule or not, I will move you. And it's going to become dangerous in the police force, you know. The prophet spoke about it. There will be policemen that are men and women of God that will stand up for righteousness, and their lives will be in danger because of it. Because they are not going to conform with the demonic actions of other policemen that are a part of a syndicate A circle. A syndicate of criminals. Funny, I was speaking with a brethren today, and he's like, you know, big man too, you know, big up him if I watch, you know, if him catch the replay, and him I say, boy, you know, sometime Bolo when you come and see some of the things them with the police, them and I really know, you know, say some of them man where I get chop off, you know, them in a things long time, and a long time them forget cut down, and me I say, well, I'm not going to dispute some of them, but not all of them. There's too much evidence. And I don't support the illegal means in terms of violating somebody's right to life. I will not support it. It makes them no different from the criminals. So there's a fundamental issue in our society. And the issue is understanding what is right and understanding what is wrong. And standing for what is right and denouncing the wrong. The lines are being blurred, ladies and gentlemen. And if we're not careful, we're going to go down a rabbit hole where nobody will be safe from those types of activities. Because I say it already, you know, if the people of the country, and this is moving away from Christopher Tufton right now, if the people of the country accepts police unaliving persons that are labeled criminals without the proper process of going to court and being proven to be a criminal and get locked up. And I'm talking about them not shoot out no go on, brother. Them just go execute the people. Let's call it for what it is. If the Jamaican people accept that as the modus operandi for quote unquote bring down crime, you know when me I go say them I do something when you hear say one politician then go for. When you hear say the police then go for one politician that is behind the crime syndicate, that is empowering the crime syndicate, and them go there, go cut off his or her life. At that point, let's see how you feel about it now. Let's see how the government are going to support it now. You don't believe say politician involved in a criminality, high levels of criminality in Jamaica, in gang warfare in all around the place. You don't believe that? The police them can't tell you no. When they go for operation certain place and they get on call for a high profile politician and say, yo, leave from there. And them have to lift up. Until the police they start go for the big wigs, them same way like how them go for the youth, them and I get out and claim say a criminal, you can't talk to me. Make we see it right across the board now. Make we see it right across the board. It's not right either way. I'm just saying. It's not right, ladies and gentlemen. It is not right. That is not how you fight crime. I want our policemen to be trained properly, understanding the law. Right? And enforcing the law, not breaking it. When I listen to the FLA man about the laws of holding a private firearm, I said to myself, hold on. Sanjay, what go on? Yeah, man, level the playing field, not true? Yeah, level the playing field, Sanjay. Blessings. Welcome to the platform. Level the playing field. Yeah, man, make we see police them go with some politician, man, and we say, oh, there was a shootout and, you know? Yeah. Make we see how that go down. You'll never see it. All of them have, me say, all of them involved in a cocaine and all them type of something that they know. You not see it. Yes? The youth them in the ghetto, a ship gun come to Jamaica. A big people with big money. We have big connection. What are you talking about? Let us understand and call it for what it is. So on principle, everybody has the right to life and due process. Bring them in and process them. Just like how SSL boss them, extreme beauty, thank you. Just like how SSL boss them can get to go up on weekend and get station bail. Yeah, man. You understand? Yeah. Let us give everybody the same. Let us be one playing field. But listen, let me get back to the video.
Thus neutralizing his ability to challenge banks rather than...
Yes, so the HR money director said, oh, wait a minute, sir, CEO, no. You're going past your remit. Yeah, man, getting some hard labor, extreme beauty. You're going past your actual powers right now. This is actually against policy, what you're doing. Okay? So, that cannot work, and I'm going to point it out. And them say, listen, let me tell you what my powers. You see, I'm going to remove you from your post. You see, this is why there needs to be proper checks and balances in institutions. Because the HR person is supposed to be able to say, yo, no, you're wrong, and their job is protected. The CEO is not supposed to be able to just fire that person or put them into any which way they want to put them. There should be policies in place to protect them by law and even by policies within the company. And it's a government thing, so it should be by law. It should be by law. And that is one of the things that the UIC president always talk about, you know, in terms of how he wants to structure and change government in Jamaica from the system that it is. So we can have way better checks and balances. That's a flaw, you know. The CEO shouldn't be able to do that to the director of HR. The director of HR responsibility is to not only protect the people within the facility, the doctors that work there, nurses, but protecting them is also protecting the patients. Because if they're overworked, their morale is low, their constitutional rights are not being enforced or allowed, where they can speak out to problems so problems can be fixed. Indirectly and directly, the patients are going to suffer, which we are seeing. We are seeing it. That's why the Auditor General report and what Mr. Dawes is putting out right now in terms of these letters from these nurses and doctors is so damning.
Rational HR planning. When the HR director advised against one such transfer as it breached the rules, he himself was later transferred to a newly created role, thus neutralizing his ability to challenge the CEO's decision.
In a fire him, he give him a new role, a new position, where he don't have the authority to question him anymore. That is dictatorship. That is like a man in the Bible, a King Solomon, we see the man wife after he have much wife and concubine, and said, no, I have to have her. Here we are going to do it now. Set him on the front line in the war because he's a soldier. Because they know him go dead so he can have his wife. That's what that is. The abuse of power. Hey, jet line, me don't know, you know? I don't know if you tell you so.
One staff member who was similarly transferred reportedly became stressed, depressed, and broken. He later died of a massive stroke before his case could be heard.
Don't you hear that? The family should sue. And if suing doesn't work, they should go down on their, well, they should go down on their knees and pray and fast. For God to remove them for what they did to their family. Yeah, man. They should go down on their knee and pray and fast for God to remove these people that are responsible for their family member stressing out to the point where they had a stroke and died. Everybody that is responsible for that person's death, the family should, God know them, you know. So then they need to point the finger and call the name, you know. Just pray and ask God to remove every single one of them that is responsible. Stress out the person to the point where them have, yo, brother, this is not normal, bro.
Similarly transferred, reportedly became stressed, depressed, and broken. He later died of a massive stroke before his case could be heard. In one collective letter, resident doctors write, "We respectfully urge the UHWI leadership to give this letter due consideration and to implement timely corrective measures. A teaching hospital cannot function effectively without protecting its workforce." That last sentence is the core of this episode. The UHWI cannot train the region's doctors, cannot provide safe care, and cannot recover from a scandal while its own workforce is exhausted, undermined, and pushed out. And if replaced at all, with junior staff who are themselves set up to fail. The HR crisis at the UHWI is not just a staffing spreadsheet problem. It is a moral problem. It tells us whose lives and voices are valued in the system and whose are not. In the next episode,
Yo, I want to say big up to the People's National Party. I want to say big up to Mark Gordon. I want to say big up to Mr. Dr. Alfred Dawes. I want to say big up to the team that is behind this production in presenting the facts. You understand what I'm saying? Massive, massive shout out. And I cannot wait to see the next episode and what it yields. But this is really a HR crisis, brother. People actually are drop out off our face of earth because of it. Talking about we're gonna put a committee together. I will not even fix them a problem, yeah? No, brother.
From the human toll to the machinery that creates it, the procurement and financial practices that staff frontline care while money disappears into poorly documented contracts and questionable priorities. I am Dr. Alfred Dawes, and this has been UC on Life Support. Join me for our next episode, Procurement 101, How to Get Away with It.
He's gonna break down how they get away with these things on the next episode. So you know we can't miss that. Because we need to understand where the skullduggery lies, how it's manipulated, so we know as the people what we need to demand from our government in terms of changes that need to be made. You know what's funny? I never knew about the Ansard. You guys know about the Ansard? In Parliament, they call it the Ansard. That's the record of what is said in terms of debates and everything. And when the Integrity Commission Act was being debated, do you know that all the deficiencies in the Integrity Commission Act, they knew them and they never changed them? The Hansard proves that they knew them, but they never changed them. I wonder why. Was it intentional? Because they had nefarious intent from the beginning. Hashtag top thief. Just like how the government had proposed that impeachment be removed from the reform of the Constitution. Can you imagine? they wanted to remove impeachment from the constitutional reform. Politicians want to be able to be impeached and imprisoned. Listen to me. I want the law to reach a point where, see, if a past prime minister is finally caught like a country them what they are, you see, or then charge them and send them to prison after them. Listen to me. Any politician that is involved in criminality while being a politician in any fashion should be imprisoned and given hard labor, and their assets should be seized, and their family assets should be seized. Any benefit them pitney get if you take from them, I kid you not. I'm so serious. The money we spend already we can't get back, but you see money and the asset them where they there over here so. Just like the bank. There's a prerequisite for you to keep your money and all them something there. Our tax dollars them when we are pay you and you they are rob we and I rob for we pitney them. Because you see when politicians rob we, they not just rob we, you know. They rob our kids. The one them with the born it. That's what corruption does. You understand? So we need to give them the equal punishment in law, ladies and gentlemen. At that time in the country, you see your Singapore state. Hey, listen me, man. Listen me, man. Listen me, man. Want me check your phone? Yeah? Tell you. See what I'm going on, so. See what I'm going on, so. Whoa!
Our gludons of this century.
Whoa!
When Miss Gludan saw something that...
Whoa!
So you could have come to Parliament tomorrow, fly green, and ball. When Dr. Dayton said, I really need back my bedroom, you know. I really need back my bedroom because I need to start bust some of them dirty.
General Star, me just a cash back a replay from behind, bro. No. It's just sketched apart there, so.
But Jamaica, think about it seriously. Think about it serious with tomorrow. Are you going to come with the narrative that, oh, so you soon hear say Pamela Monroe Ellis or what? PNP. Yes. But I'm going to call on the true people of God tonight. I'm going to call on the true people of God tonight for do what? I'm going to call on the true people of God for pray for Pamela Monroe Ellis.
True, man. True. That lady there do a phenomenal job.
I call on Apostle Karim.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Me a call upon the true
check your
people
phone.
of God we stand against.
Check your phone, mommy. Check your phone. Me send you a message.
The oppression and the oppressors in this land. Are you going to hear some misinformation and disinformation? Dana Mars Dixon, carry the receipt of post cabinet press briefing.
Fast forward now to 2026. There are some social media sites dedicated to bringing down one Michael Holness and his Jamaica Labour Party administration. And they say all this fear and love and war, you can add politics into that as well. People do what they have to do to achieve their aims. I don't know who is funding these people on the site, but clearly they're funded because they're coordinated and they're persistent.
So, I'm going to show you, say, that brother here, him selectively try to act like him have sense. And the reason why I say that is because he chat so much nonsense, you have to really wonder. You understand? Let me just remove this person. No, him selectively go on like same absence. That him selectively go on like him absence. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. like selective outrage, him selectively go like him absent, but him chat so much nonsense. So he's saying that the social media site is being funded. How him know that? Does he have any evidence of that? He must speak to the intent of the individuals that have the platform, and also that somebody will facilitate them to do those things. Could it be that the individual that made the post, and it's a specific post I'm talking about, you know, the one when this AI video, when clearly AI, right, where with Andrew, what appears to be Andrew one is putting a fish in a jacket. It clearly is AI, like everybody knows it's AI. Could it be that the individual that made the video, I'm not speaking to the intent, and that's why I'm saying could it be? Because the possibilities are endless why the person made the video. Could it be that the person sees Andrew Holness in that light and decided to create a video that demonstrated how he feels about Andrew? Him feel like him a one thief. Could it be? And it have nothing to do with nobody have fund them. Could it be just that person using their creativity? Could it be? It makes sense, don't it? It sounds more sensible than what him talk about, don't it? But you see, what they want to do, let me tell you what I believe they're trying to do. They cannot speak to the social media ones who have burn out Andrew Holness with the facts. They can't speak to them. They can't speak to them, you know. So what them do, them find these, because these people major in the minor, you know, ladies and gentlemen. The real news them no cover, you know. Because when the whole UHWI thing coming up, look where them a focus on. Dr. Alfred Dawes, and trying to pin something on him. Wah, wah, wah. Not working. Wah, wah, wah. It not working, not keep, it not happen. You see me? And now what you guys did was rake up the ants nest that was brewing of information. I know Dr. Alfred Dawes is coming with the damn receipts. You see, Dr. Lambert Brown gave us a taste, you know, on Colin Bell's show and Andre Stevens' show, you know. He gave us a taste. And then here comes the avalanche. Here comes the avalanche, ladies and gentlemen. Because what I'm understanding is that Dr. Alfred Dawes was sitting and he was digging and putting the information together. Silent river surely run deep in it. Let's continue.
Saying pointing fingers anywhere. I'm just saying that these sites, especially on TikTok, exist to just push out rumor after rumor after rumor about Holness, trying to make those who do.
That's why I'm in a focus on rumor. I focus on the things that when you say out of mouth. So them can align me on my page with that. I show you when you say then and when you say no. On my TikTok. You know what people me see in the street, I say, yo bro, I see things them on TikTok, you know, dog. Yeah man. Good job. Good questioning. Right? Good analysis. Random people. Pastor Peter Chambers told us, you know, there is more of us than there is them. Believe no man. A silent, the people ain't silent, you know. We recognize, and that is the bad thing, you know. Good men stay silent, skullduggery persists, criminality persists, corruption persists. We don't need to raise on a voice in concert, ladies and gentlemen. All of you. Do your videos on TikTok. Question the things them on the ear. Nothing wrong with question. It is your right. It is your right, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't have information, believe that Holness is the worst human being walking on 2 feet anywhere in the world. Rumor after rumor about Holness, trying to make those who don't have information believe that Holness is the worst human being walking on 2 feet anywhere in the world.
Not the worst one, because again, I fool this is my chat. there's just too much evidence. There's more evidence out there for persons to come to their conclusion about the type of human being Andrew Holness is. Nobody needs to even try to do that. All they have to do is look at what he says and look at what he does. Look at what he promises and commits to and look at what he actually does. Look at the UHWI. Did a great human being allow what is happening at the UHWI as a leader to happen under his watch for years now? And not fire Christopher Tufton and not clean up the place while people were suffering, people's parents and mothers. And look what he did in the pandemic. Look what he did to the people. Lockdown talk about, oh, it's the people them when they at the corner shop them and them are spread COVID. You know forgot? Bro, listen. Charles Davis, listen, bro, that don't even, listen, man. If we was to really have a serious conversation, I can come up with many reasons why Andrew Holness is probably the top 100 worst human being as leader anywhere in the world. Top 100. With ease, relative ease. You hear me say? How much country there in the world? Me say top 100. With ease. We not even have to think about it, bro. You hear what I said? Andrew Holness don't do nothing for nobody unless him a benefit. And look, you hear what him say? Why? You hear what he said? Why he's doing these ribbon cuttings to document his legacy. It's not about the person them where my help. It's not about the person them where my help. It's to document his legacy for his benefit. To create a facade. Listen to me say we know something. That's something, man. Anyway.
One of those sites has a story that Holness was what? Stealing chickens and was caught by the police. That video alone has about 300,000 views.
Are the views burning, you know? Are the views burning? Ladies and gentlemen, that's why I want to know. Forget the views them up. Me need no help. I need your help. The views, it's what's burning them. I give you guys comprehensive analysis. And no baga thing are going over here, so. Me have my own little style of entertainment to make people laugh. I'm not the greatest comedian. Sometimes my facial expression might, you know what I mean? There's a mixture. And I'm very passionate. I need you guys to share up the lives, man. Share it everywhere. Sign the MAGNITSKY Act. Get the MAGNITSKY Act to 10,000. I wish I could reach the 30,000 people plus on my platform to sign the MAGNITSKY Act. Honestly, I really wish I could. If I could do it manually, if I could send them a message manually and say, please sign the MAGNITSKY Act, I would do it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to start tonight. You see, every person that type a message in the chat, I'm going to do as much posting of the MAGNITSKY Act to you guys as possible. Hey, Arthur, big up yourself, bro. Because we need to counter the madness of the man I'm going with in terms of corruption in Jamaica. Yo, we kids them not safe, you know, in other country, you know, moving forward, you know, the way things are going, you know. Listen, Andrew Holness is the polar opposite of Burkina Faso president. That will never happen. Ibrahim Traoré, that will never happen. He's not a fighter for the people, he's a fighter for himself and in pocket. Andrew Holness is not radical for the people. Andrew Holness is radical for private investors and himself. And in pocket. That's why I have so much bank account.
There's another site that is pushing out the line about the extradition requests being sent for JLP politicians. That video had over 200 views the last time I checked as well. 200,000 views the last time I checked as well. So this thing about extradition requests for politicians.
You soon find out. You soon blur not find out. Yeah, man. You soon find out, man. When you see them are going go one by one, they'll be going to jail. Doreen, one by one, they'll be going to jail. Him soon find out. You hear me talk about this. You can't stay there.
It's a social media creation that is going around. And because it's so persistent, the rumor.
The rumor. You not say fake. Me dare you to say a lie. Me dare you to say nothing no go so. You think people don't see that already? You think people don't put their eye on it already? Them sworn to secrets so they can't talk till they bust out. So you can stay there. Hey! Mr. Hey, man, I say now, but nobody no bad. Say, no, listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to celebrate the criminal them going to jail. Me say me I go celebrate the man them is destroying the country. When they catch them and lock them up, I will be celebrating the criminals going to jail. A traffic cocaine and them something there. Eh? You're in a government job and a traffic cocaine. Alicia, I say me I celebrate. Big party too. And give praises to the Most High. It's a Most High party, you know, it's not a, you understand? Yeah, man. It's a Most High party. Me I sing praises to the Most High for delivering us from the evil. Whenever was Thundercats, Mumra. Yeah, man, that evil, eh? Them, some of them politicians are coming like Mumra. Living dead.
Or the quote-unquote reports, as those manning these social media sites would have you believe that these are reports, you know, these are credible reports.
Oh, so it's not credible reports. We are going to remember this. We are going to remember this. Because you're not privy to the report, you're not credible.
Even sensible people are now wondering and asking and calling.
Oh, so hold on there. So the people them we are wonder. We're sensible, they should not wonder.
People like us to ask for truth.
Why them I ask you? Who is you? You know nobody? Your station is anything for anybody I look to? For true? Why would you be privy to it? You're not part of the corruption, brother. You're not part of the propaganda machine. So why would you get the information before anybody else? Huh? He can't stay there.
Point people to a report January 2020 where the US Embassy took the unusual step of issuing a public statement to shut down a rumor at that time that there were extradition requests for 2 JLP politicians, 2 cabinet ministers. The rumor was rife. And the embassy, which doesn't usually comment on those things, had to issue a statement. So listen, there's no such thing, nothing to see here. Ever since the Dulus extradition request helped to neuter Bruce Golding as Prime Minister and ultimately brought down a JLP administration, there are people who say, this is the sweet spot. So what can't be achieved at the ballot, it can be achieved through an extradition request. And then where there's no extradition request, the rumor of an extradition request is enough to bleed political capital from the administration, to create doubt about the sincerity.
Hey, juicy lips. Mwah, mwah, mwah. What's up, baby? Mwah.
And honesty of those in the administration at the time.
Ladies, don't get jealous here. She named Juicy Lips. Don't. You know, I just the name. You understand? And she's beautiful. She's a beautiful lady too. That's facts.
And it can have a destabilizing effect. So they use the Dulu situation to know that when it comes to extradition request, people get nervous and people start wondering and, you know, people start believing that there's something happening. All of this.
Let me hear what Andrea said about this. Yes, sir.
You hear the JLP apologies?
Yes. Fret him, fret him.
You hear the JLP apologies?
Fret him, fret.
This man doesn't do anything. The purpose of the media is to call out, you know. governments. And this man protects the government more than he calls out.
He never call them out yet. Antonio, what's up?
But I'm going to ask him tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm.
Will he be protecting Floyd Green? Or will he be calling out Floyd Green for the irresponsibility of the oversight of his ministry? But a lot of you are losing your way, you know.
Yes.
A lot of you are losing your way. And it's evident the kind of filth you all are.
Mighty God.
But you have to sing for your supper, George Davis, because you know who pay you.
Must sing for filth. You must sing for filth.
You have to sing for your supper, Cliff, because remember the tax have to be right.
Mighty God.
You have to sing for your supper nationwide. Because how else are you going to be paid?
Revolt.
Really, Revolt? Who is going to pay you? Remember, Andrew Holness advisor is your boss, you know. You hear what I said? The Indian man is their boss. Revolt. Revolt. But me not look on Revolt and Revolt so much tonight.
Yes.
I'm looking at the fact, Jamaica.
Yes.
That a corrupt government facilitates corruption. Mark Golding said it perfectly. It affects schooling. It affects hospitals. Look at the state of healthcare and the crisis at our hospitals.
Miriam, big up.
People are literally on the floor.
Everybody on my TikTok, you need to go and subscribe to my YouTube. The link to my YouTube is in my bio. When you click on my picture, it goes to my bio. It goes to my page. You guys know. We're at the top right there. You'll see the link. You click on it, open the link, and subscribe. Sassy81, come here, girl. I miss you. Mwah. Big up yourself. Sassy81 in the building. What's Sassy D there? Sassy D go there watch Andre. Yeah, she go there watch Andre. But she go quietly watch me on my next device. That's what she go to do.
Lord. Rats and rodents. Nurses and doctors are walking over dead bodies.
Unbelievable.
Nurses and doctors are walking over. Play that. I want people to let it synchronize tonight.
Jesus.
Doctors and nurses are walking over dead bodies in the hospital.
Thank
That
you.
is how bad it is, Jamaica.
Thank you, TikTok.
That is
Thank
how
you,
bad
Dawes.
it
Big up.
is. And then you find apologists in the media.
Like, bro, why is the media not talking about the erroneous state that healthcare is in right now? If this was America, you know, hey, let me tell you something. If this was some other place, you see, if this was England, first of all, let me tell you, Christopher Tufton would be fired a long time ago if this was England. English people now play, and the government them know that. You see, when the English people them come out, there is results. When them take it to the streets, and a bag of talking, them have to respond to them requests when them take it to the street. You hear what I said? They gotta respond. That is how democracy works.
John Davis and Cliff Hughes and enemy shields that do everything to defend this government. Do everything to protect this government.
Facts.
You remember one time you expect that journalists, despite political lines, would call out governments for who they are.
That is what you're supposed to do. That's why nobody can chat to me when me support the PMP. Because equally me will burn them out if they're not the right thing. When you see me in state sub-option and defend the PMP, is genuinely, me I say, yo, when the people must say PMP now do enough, me say no. You can't answer that. You can't answer that. It's not fair. It's not fair, it isn't fair. And even before Dr. Dawes, I say never fair. And look what Dr. Dawes I don't know. Him just come validate my point. You not even know what the people might do behind the scenes. It's a different approach people might take. This bag of going out in the streets and I make up nice. You don't do that if you don't want to do that. You understand what I say? It's time to document the atrocities and the corruption them and put it out there for the world to see. International media. Andre gave us the blueprint. Share it, tag it with everybody. CNN, everybody, CBS, ABC, ITV, every news outlet all in Europe and everywhere. Let them know what you guys are the engine. Me tell you now, you know, you guys are the engine that makes this platform go. And you're the engine that is for change because there's more of you than there is the government. Why you think they go so hard to try to trick on election time? and winning over because they understand the position of power that they're in. You think, say, if, listen to me, if politicians could win elections without you voting, you think so they would cater, some of them would cater to your what it is that you need? You think they would have go so hard and then at the streets at night time and I do all of this? Listen to me, man. Ladies, if you allow a man to have you in a one cardboard box, he will not build a house. If you are okay with a cardboard box and that are your standard and you will live in a street, and he will not everybody, but most of them will not improve. Omar's big up. Right? Never let anything get old or forgotten. You have to hold them accountable. What do you find Andrew Holness talk about 3 STEM school? Or am I going to build 3 STEM? No, I know what do you find it out. But he said something the other day that triggered me to go back. I said, wait a minute. How is Andrew Holness saying that we don't have any skilled workers? But his government years ago promised 6 STEM schools in 6 years. Granted, there was COVID and all of that, but not one of them not built. But the school them there. If they had those schools, wouldn't we have more skilled workers in engineering and science and math? Like, bro, what are we doing? Science, technology, engineering, math. Those are the fields in STEM. That's what STEM stands for. So if we had those schools built by the Chinese and the government, 3 from the Chinese and 3 from the government, the workforce would be more skilled in it. So now in 2026, well, you know, the current call is that, you know, we don't have enough skilled workers. Huh? How? You told us you're going to build STEM schools. Where are the STEM schools? But that was just an elaborate promise. Ladies and gentlemen, if STEM school will not build, everybody would have cut the first day when the man goes up to the Diggy Foundation. No STEM school now built.
You remember when you were out here at Monty Perkins and all of those people would be calling on people for who they are. Monty Perkins wasn't afraid of Michael Manley. If Prime Minister Manley did something that he disapproved of, he spoke about it.
And that is exactly the balance. You see, this is why I love Mark Golding, you know. Mark Golding is, the man is so humble. Even when the criticism, in my opinion, is too much, he still absorbs it and he listens to the people. Right? And he accepts it for what it is. And because the other day he said it on Perry, he said, listen, you know, it's the people, you know, so, you know, maybe we really, you know, really need to step up certain things. Even though Mark Golding knew that Dr. Alfred Dawes had this in the pipeline. Right? He kind of hinted, when I think back at it, he kind of hinted like, you know, give them time. You know, we have some new faces and things, give them time. Who remember the interview with Perry and Mark Golding, and he said, you know, give them time. Time come now. Dr. Alfred Dawes rolling out the receipts for them blows and skirts, and they need to resign, brother. They need to go.
Patterson did something that he was outspoken about. Miss Gludan, where are the Barbara Gludans of this century?
Oh God, me miss Miss Gludan. Oh God, those vices. No. Seriously. No, Andre, you know what you're talking about. You know
when Miss Gludan saw something that she never approved of, it could have been Portia right down to PJ.
You no matter.
They would call them out for it.
Yes. A serious thing.
Stepping over dead bodies, treating patients on the ground, rodent infestation, just some of the circumstances nurses at the Cornwall Regional Hospital say they have been working in for months now. The nurses are protesting what they say are long-standing inhumane conditions for both staff and the patients. Akeem Orrit has been tracking the story.
Frustrated and overworked, these are nurses from the Cornwall Regional Hospital Friday morning, protesting what they describe as inhumane working conditions. The nurses insist the challenges predated Hurricane Melissa but have worsened since.
When you hear that, I want to focus on a little bit apart. You see that? No, let me calm down. You see that individual will come talk about as a result of Hurricane Melissa. When you hear what the nurse say, he did bad from before Hurricane Melissa. It was bad, ladies and gentlemen. So don't blame Hurricane Melissa. Get out of here with that crap. Let me play it again.
Cornwall Regional Hospital Friday morning, protesting what they describe as inhumane working conditions. The nurses insist the challenges predated Hurricane Melissa but have worsened since.
We have to be taking care of patients on the floor. That's not hygienic. Patients sitting on the chair for a week, 3 weeks or more. We don't have enough bed space to care for our patients effectively. That's not safe for our patients. We're crying out here for our patients and for ourselves.
3 weeks, you know. Sit down on one chair for 3 weeks. Do you guys remember when we heard those things coming out on social media? And you remember the PR that Christopher Tufton and his government took? You remember? So everything busts out now. Big up yourself, Omaro. Everything busts out now. Is that Omiro? Omiro. Right? One love, brother. Big up.
They lament the nurse-to-patient ratio is too burdensome, putting both staff and patients at risk.
Yeah.
We, of course, don't have enough staff to manage all of these patients. Sometimes you have one nurse to 50 people, 30 people. Makes no sense.
I like her voice. I like her voice.
There are currently over 100 patients in the area, and it's supposed to house maybe about 35. Yes. And my nurses have 2 code patients that is provide resuscitative care on the floor. That is inhumane. And at this time, the nurses just cannot take anymore. We even have some rodent infestation. They have communicated before, and we still haven't gotten a response.
Patients are also outraged. One visitor from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dominic Prince, was admitted to the hospital for a heart condition. But for him, the condition at the facility is worse than his heart.
I don't care what nobody wants to say. Sit down on chair from yesterday. Right? And they still want me to stay back. I gotta sign myself up. I can't live like that. I'm a human being and not a dog. Because you cannot have a person sit down in a chair all night and say you're checking them, it's going to be worse. What can you do for a person sits in a chair and they don't get comfortable sleep? I'm leaving now.
The nurses are not.
I never heard that part on TVJ. That's a fuller clip. So TVJ shortened this. Very interesting.
Now pleading with the relevant authorities to address the long-standing issues, warning that failure to act could result in even more serious consequences. Akeem Oret, CVM News.
Jamaica. I'm going to say this quickly.
So hold on. Stepping over dead bodies, nurses protest against inhumane conditions. But we never hear TVJ carries a part of. We never hear that part of. On TVJ, CVM is not just going to put that up as the title, you know. Stepping over dead bodies, nurses process inhumane conditions. Jesus.
Authorities to address the long-standing issues, warning that failure to act could result in even more serious consequences. Akeem Oret, CVM News.
Wow.
Jamaica.
Wow.
I'm going to say this quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It's really bad.
Terrible one.
It is so bad.
Terrible. Not even body, terrible.
That Dr. Alfred Dawes did a part 2. I'm going to let Jamaica play the commercials first for me. We have to make sure to the people. I'm going to play the commercials first. And then we come back. We're going to listen to what Dr. Alfred Dawes had to say in the program tonight. Because probably they are reporting the live. See Dr. Hunter calling me.
I want one.
A doctor's letter. Here the doctor said. Miss every day comes to the live are free. Just encourage yourself and do your way you do, no man. I hope all is well and hopefully you're back.
Sometimes it's the internet, you know. And sometimes they might do things to cause, you know, they don't really want the truth to go. You understand? Like my numbers. Yeah, sometimes they do things. Short boss said, bro, bet cheap, send some of the money. Huh? What does that even mean? What are you referencing? What are you talking about? Anyway, I'm going to move away from this. Wait, NCB announces departure of CEO Bruce Bowen, appoints Shereen Martin interim head. Wait, what? How did I miss this? I was looking at the cleaner today. Hold up, bro. What? Bro, what? Hold on. Transport Authority pull officer from frontline duty over video of gun incident. Wait, what? Okay, this kind of serious. Transport Authority pulls officer from frontline duties over video of gun incident. The Transport Authority says that an employee is seen in a video on social media drawing firearm during a road operation has been removed from frontline duties as part of an interim probe. The authority wishes to unequivocally state that this type of conduct does not form any part of its training protocols and is not aligned with its standards, operating procedure, or public interim policy, the entity said in a statement. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what is required of Andrew Holness in regards to many things that is happening in his government. Now we're dealing with healthcare. We need to hear a statement from Andrew Holness that Christopher Tufton is fired. And the way he has operated and managed the healthcare system does not form any part of his protocol of how he runs the country. And as a leader of a party, you know, an individual that manages such an important entity as the Ministry of Health that deals with the vulnerable, the standard I wish that he has held, or the lack of standard I wish that he has dropped healthcare services in the country, given the recent Auditor General report, has led me to forcibly get rid of him from this party and this government. That is what we need to hear from Andrew Holness. But guess what? He would have to be a leader of integrity. He would have to be a leader of good standard to actually do something like that. You know who would have done something like that? Mark Jefferson Goley. Give you an example. Remember the Virgin on Mobile that had the statement about scammers? What did Mark Goley do? Remove him from frontline duties, ladies and gentlemen. Who remember? I'm going to keep pointing these things. This is a TikTok moment. This is a TikTok moment. Give me a second. This is a TikTok moment. Is this the Gleaner? You know, so look how the cleaner look. Hey, the cleaner hot thing. Yo, the cleaner hot. People, look how the cleaner look clean. Watch that. Different letters and caption type and up there. Want to see how the cleaner look clean? The cleaner website look clean like a whistle, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on, look a bit. I hope this is something fresh and new, man. I hope when I click on it on Facebook, and on my computer, it's the same way I see it, man. Nice and clean, egg clean. I'm tired for customer, It look like gonna make some changes. Court blocks competitors from using King in branding dispute with King Alarm. Okay. Trial of 6 cops accused of murder in case that drew international scrutiny starts in Kingston. Mighty God. International scrutiny. I'll go look on that case there. More than 170 applications received for 75 million church cleanup program. Boy, this, hey, me don't talk about this enough. Me can stay there go and cost say church enough to get the money. I am with Anissa Rose. Give the church some money and give people some money, brother. Same time. You understand? The church them want it anyway. But we know, we know the skullduggery part of it still. Make the internal war go on between when name Everald Warmington and the Housing Trust. Make them go and expose themselves. Compromise Transparency Auditor General slaps Agriculture Ministry for awarding 870 million in contracts without key oversight. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to dive into that story there. Yeah, man. Because you know, Fly Green, if it resign, long time. No movement there. Shower labor, right? Listen to me, man. Hey, instead of saying Jamaica is still like me, boy. Yo, if Jamaican people them be still like me, I tell you, say, yo. Famed Italian fashion designer Valentino dies at age 93 in Rome. Wow. Rest in peace. Oh, here's the story. See the story. See the story. See the story. This one for. Let me see if it pops up with the same cleanness. Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen. The green are gonna lead. The green are gonna lead. The man they work on their website. Thank you, God. Oh my days. You come like the way you hear me complain every day. Jesus. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. See that we can have this one right here, so unsave that one. It says authorities. Alright, so yes. No, I can't do the figure. That's the reason. That's the reason we're here. This is a TikTok moment. Let's not forget why we're here, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm Dr. Alfred Dawes. In episode...
Yeah, man. Dr. Alfred Dawes. First one. For the first episode, download.
I'm Dr. Alfred. A patient in Jamaica inside the hospital as punishment rather than...
Alright.
I'm Dr. Alfred Dawes.
Alright, so social media, TikTok, everybody, listen. Came across this article. It says, Transport Authority pulls officer from frontline duties over video of gun incident. Now, what is important, ladies and gentlemen, is what they say, right? The authority wishes to equivocally state that this type of conduct does not form any part of its training, protocols, and is not aligned with its standards, operating procedure, or public interactions policy, the entity said in a statement on Monday. It says the officer was removed with immediate effect. And this is what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. When you see the erosion of the UHWI, right, and you see individuals are not removed when the Auditor General says, no, this and this is happening, who you have to blame? Christopher Tufton. Know that Christopher Tufton has not done it, right? You have to blame Andrew Holness, because this thing is recurring over and over and over again. So there's an erosion of the process, skullduggery, nepotism and cronyism, and he's kept there still. If Andrew Holness was about good governance, he would say to us, we equivocally state that this type of conduct from our Minister of Government in Health does not form any part of the protocols of leadership and good governance that we as a JLP government is aligned with. The standard operating procedure where procurement is concerned that has been violated, right? It's unacceptable, and we have since fired him from his post. This is what we need to hear from Andrew Holness in regards to Christopher Tufton. However, it would be necessary for him to be of somebody of integrity for him to do that. Because if you live in a glass house, don't throw stones. Who remember when the Auditor General came out with the report, ladies and gentlemen, of the 12 million, I thought it was 12 billion or 12 million. It was so many in the 12, where the Office of the Prime Minister is concerned with his social housing program, and he came out and said, you know, sir, I reject this and all of this, and one bag of buzzwords and everything. But the Auditor General said she saw overlapping, ladies and gentlemen. Him rejecting it don't mean nothing. You heard what I said? It doesn't mean nothing. So when you have a compromised leader, a politically exposed person, and then you have people in his party that is also politically exposed, where does it end, ladies and gentlemen? Who remember when Mark Golding took out the gentleman from down something and put in Mr. McNeil? You see the difference in leadership? Wickham McNeil, who remember? Just saying, good governance. You're not going to get it from the JLP. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was a TikTok moment. Gigi, what's up, Gigi? Hi. Yeah, man, them too much now, Nedge. Them too much. Let me approve your message. Them too much. Them too much. Them need to go. Big up yourself. What a nice picture. Is that AI? Nedge? Where are you guys watching from? Look like some people there from all over the place. You know? I'll TikTok this still and nothing go. Anyway, moving on. Moving on, guys. Moving on. I am going to save this. I'm going to save this article. No, the Transport Authority now, they have confidence in them by their action, their swift action here. So this gives me, morale and pride. They can't say, yo, nobody ramp with my Transport Authority, you know, because when people in them thing, you know, nah go on good, you know, them no ramp fi move them, you know. Me can poke out my chest and say, salute to the Transport Authority. That was the right thing to do, ladies and gentlemen. You know what that does? It sends a message to everybody else that decides that they want a job in the Transport Authority. That listen, we're not going to take the nonsense, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Holness, anybody can... Yo, anybody, if you have one rap sheet long from your son, got Timbuktu, you can be a part of the JLP. Them not discriminate. Them not have no standard. They don't understand that. They're not even no joking. They don't have no standard. Oh, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see what I'm going to say with MC. I'm going to start that one or two. Yo, me say. Yo, I don't know why I'm so excited, but the cleaner does proper, dog. Yo, the cleaner clean like a whistle, bro. The presentation is just phenomenal. The bolded words, the cleanness of the picture them, the graphic, oh my goodness. Cleaner, bravo. Can we give the cleaner a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Bravo. Bravo, cleaner. It says, let me make you read the phone now. Read aloud. Hold on. Read aloud. Here we go.
The National Commercial Bank, NCB, has announced that Chief Executive Officer Bruce Bowen will leave the organization effective February 28, 2026. In a statement today, NCB said Bowen will proceed on vacation leave ahead of his departure. During this period, Sherry Martin, Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer, has assumed the role of interim CEO. According to the bank, the leadership transition aligns with its commitment to strong governance, continuity, and disciplined execution. Chairman of NCB Financial, Michael Leaching, when asked over the weekend, declined to respond to questions. Bowen did not respond to emailed queries when approached, while Head of Investor Relations, Belinda Williams, also declined to comment. The move does not affect the parent company, NCB Financial, which is run by Robert Almeida. Bowen was appointed in 2023 to lead a focused turnaround period for the bank. That phase is now largely complete and, as previously contemplated, 2026 was expected to mark the transition from turnaround to sustainable growth. In this context, Mr. Bowen will be leaving the organization on February 28, 2026, to pursue other interests, NCB said. The board thanks Mr. Bowen for his leadership during this critical period and wishes him every success in his future endeavors. NCB said Martin brings more than 15 years of senior leadership experience in the financial services sector, with deep expertise in strategy execution and organizational transformation, as well as senior-level experience in the energy sector. Since assuming the role of Chief Operating Officer, the bank said she has overseen several of its most critical operational and technology functions and has played a key role in strengthening execution discipline, operational resilience, and performance consistency across the organization. Commenting on the leadership transition, NCB Financial Group's Chief Executive Officer and NCBJ Board Chairman, Robert Almeida, said, "Our strategy, priorities, and commitment to our customers, employees, and communities remain unchanged. As we build on the progress made over the past 2 years, our focus continues to be on disciplined execution, consistent value creation, and shared accountability. I would like to thank Bruce Bowen for his leadership during a critical turnaround period and welcome Sherry Martin as she assumes leadership at this important stage in the bank's journey." The board emphasized that the leadership transition reflects continuity and stability as the bank moves from a period of stabilization into its next phase of sustainable growth.
You know what stood out to me? Cutting Edge, my brother. Wagwan. Big up yourself, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what stood out to me in that article? No comment. Yeah, man. No comment. No comment from the boss. No comment from she, and no comment from him. And him gone for vacation. He went on vacation, and after his vacation, he'll be done. That look like, you know, how would I put it? That look like a amicable separation, like, you know, like we all agree, like, you know, feel like some type of conflict there. You know, maybe I'm reaching, but I don't know, guys. But we will soon hear. But I wanted to say that. That's why I wanted to read the article, and then I got hear what Andrea said. Okay, no, Andrea is of the tea. Look at what's going on now. Let me hear the question that Andrea asked. Set a rat trap. No, this serious. Hold on there. No, this serious.
The financial group stands well, but is the AIC only? We're not taking any calls right now. No calls, Jamaica. If you want to talk to me on
midday connection, yeah. Mm-hmm. See you, man, son.
But today I saw a report.
Yes.
Today I saw a report that the CEO of NCB has resigned. Or been terminated. 132. It's Oigo Ishmael. And a new interim CEO is going to come. Bruce Bowen has left NCB. But Jamaica, I called some of my corporate people. I called some of the good night corporate Jamaica. The Opulent Society. And I said, what is happening at NCB, my friends? And they said, Andre, Mr. Bowen had to leave. And he must do some investigations. I said, investigations into what? They said, ask him tonight, and I have to ask because I don't want to get a corporate lawsuit. I don't have the corporate money to pay Jamaica. So I'm going to ask the questions tonight. Bruce Bowen, good night, sir.
Good night, Mr. Bowen.
You were the CEO of NCP. Are you a director or shareholder? You want me to get there tonight, Jamaica, so get there, teacher. Ishmael set a rat trap for me now. What? You will not hear this from anyone. You will not hear this from any other media host because they're afraid to tell you why. But Mr. Bolo, are you on the board of Jamaica Broilers Group of Companies? Are you on the board of Jamaica Broilers Group of Companies, Mr. Bolo?
What can go so?
Is there any truth to the argument that whilst you are CEO of NCB, you are also a board member of Jamaica Broilers? And if that was so, wouldn't that be a conflict of interest?
What?
Wouldn't that be a conflict of interest?
What?
You want me to go deeper, Jamaica? Say go deeper.
Go deeper, God, it's not
If you
normal.
want me to go deeper, say go deeper.
What the hell is going on?
Tell me to go deeper. Fix it. What is? Go down in there. Bolo! What is that? Must have got it. Tonight, Jamaica. And let me go deeper tonight, Jamaica. Let me go deeper tonight. Bolo, make it smell and nice of this one. No. Any truth that you were also a board of Jamaica? Whilst you were CEO of NCB, were there any truth that you were also a board member of Jamaica Broilers? Did Jamaica Broilers request a loan from NCB? Did Jamaica Broilers request a loan from NCB?
What?
Whilst you were CEO and member of the board?
No, 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 no.
I am going down Emmanuel Road tonight. Was a loan granted to NC to Jamaica Broilers? And when the loan was granted, was it approved?
Wow.
And if it was approved, what was the quantity of the loan?
Help. Need out of it.
Wow. 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 That's all I got. I only got wow, guys. Yeah. That's all I got. I ain't got nothing else but wow.
Just approved what? What was the quantity of the loan?
Wow. Wow.
Jamaica, mind you, Mr. Leachin can't pay the dividends then. Mind you that Mr. Leachin also have companies in Cayman Island that has gone into receivership. Mind you, you never know say one of Mr. Leachin project them at Cayman Islands gone in receivership.
Never knew that. No, I never knew that.
Well, they're not telling in Jamaica. But I have friends and colleagues in Cayman, and they sent me the information. Remember, I said them not discuss them something in a local music. Ishmael put it up there for me now. Let's go deeper. Let me go deeper too. A receivership is a legal process where an independent third party called a receiver is appointed to take control of a company's assets or operations to manage what? Preserve or liquidate them for the benefit of creditors or other stakeholders. So you are not a weird, but NCB has a property that has gone into receivership in Grand Cayman.
Wow. What?
So that means a sign on the fence in the front of the Kalyani Hotel construction site and the North Church Street indicates that EI has been appointed as receivers for the NCB Group project. The sign lists Joel Edwards, Mike Penrose, and Gerard Wiseman are joint receivers and agents for the property. When contacted, Wiseman and partners at EY said EY does not speak publicly about their case. So, Jamaica, there is a property in Grand Cayman, NCB unfinished Kalyani Hotel project placed into receipt. Now, Jamaica, let me go back to the situation with Mr. Bruce. Mind you, NCB projects going into receivership. Mind you, Jamaica Legion don't have the money to finish up these projects. You are not hearing about these things in mainstream media. You are not seeing it in mainstream media. I am giving you the information as it comes. From last week, we have the information at Ishmael. From last week, we said this in the group. And I am saying, I was waiting to see if mainstream media was taking it up. Did you all know this, Jamaica? In a Cayman, this news is. Cayman! Cayman! Now, Jamaica, let's just bring back to context. If NCB cannot facilitate its projects, and its projects are going to receivership, how then you, Mr. Bruce, take up bleaching money and go loan Jamaica? Jamaica Broilers, I have been told, got a loan from NCB in the quantity of broilers. Do Mr. Bruce.
Hold on, let me look for the article. NCB Groups unfinished. Boy, Andre, you come with it. You come with a ball game tonight, boy. This is definitely wow. Yeah, this is a wow. This is a wow. This is a wow. What name? Kalyani Hotel Project. Placed in receivership. Wow. What are Sorry guys. Oh my god. See that? Cayman Compass. Cayman Compass. Oh my goodness. Whoa. See that, guys? TikTok, see that? This is the article. See that? YouTube, see there? This is the article. See there? Wow. CaymanCompass.com. Yeah, I need to send this to myself. I need to go on these websites sometimes and check what's happening, how it relates to Jamaica. Wow. Man, send this to myself. Send the article as to myself right now. That's wild, bro.
Take up bleaching money and go loan Jamaica. Jamaica Broilers, I have been told, got a loan from NCB in the quantity approximately, allegedly, of $15 billion.
What? Man, stop.
You know you what I said to you?
No.
NCB allegedly. What?
No, Andre. No, Andre, not can go so, Andre. Not can go so. Not can go so. Nothing can go so. Nah, when was this loan approved? If this loan is real, when was it approved? Because if I was the boss and I find out that, in fact, allegedly, that gentleman is the CEO, or they is a stakeholder of that company, and he is working for me at a bank, and that company files for a loan, and not just any loan, a loan of 50 billion, and I am in the position to grant them the loan. You are in the position to grant them the loan, right? And you grant them the loan, and I, the boss, find out, yo, y'all get kicked out royally out of my company, you know. What me say y'all do? Y'all get kicked out royally. That's a conflict of interest that, if that is indeed true, that could be seen as an unsecured loan, you know. Because the loan don't have no integrity. A friend and company business, that come like a market me situation, only worse. Wow.
Oh, so
damn.
NCB allegedly gave a loan to Jamaica Broilers. $15 billion.
Oh, 15 billion. That's still a lot. 15 billion, that is a lot. Allegedly.
15 billion.
Allegedly.
And
Allegedly.
Sir Bruce is the CEO.
Not my word.
Who Jamaica approved whilst allegedly being chairman and a member of the board.
Member of the board.
15 billion. So when Leachin see them the bang around Jamaica, $15 billion. When Leachin see them the bang around, Leachin say backside. Me not no money to deal with my project, them and can go here. The dividends of the AIC, and you take up my good money. Ball out my car! Oh, what a tangle web.
That's, yo, if that's true, bro.
So now you want that?
No, if that is true, everything would make sense. Because remember, I didn't listen to this enough. And when I read the article, what stood out to me was that part. The no comment. He might go on vacation. Crystal, he's going on vacation. Let me go back to the article. Yo, this is wild, right? Listen to this. During the period, in that statement, NCB will process to be blah blah blah. According to the bank, leadership transition aligns with its commitment to strong governance and continuity and disciplined execution. Strong governance, continuity, and disciplined execution. Leadership transition. When asked over the weekend for a statement, the chairman, Michael Leachin, declined to respond. Bowen did not respond to email queries when approached, while head of investor relations, Belinda Williams, also declined to comment. So nobody is talking. Nobody is talking, guys. Yo, I'm telling you, that part really... You see, if they said, listen, the individual is going on to greener pastures, and of course, that's the reason why he's leaving, I could understand. Also, what stood out for me, it says here, Bowen was appointed, blah, blah, blah. It says Mr. Bowen will be leaving the organization on February 28th to pursue other interests. No, hold on. That's not the part. That's not the part. The move does not affect the parent company. Bowen appointed 2003 period. The phase now largely complete, was expected to mark the transition from turnaround to sustainable growth, leaving the organization on February 28th to pursue other interests. The bank thanks Mr. Bowen's leadership during the critical period and wishes him every success in further endeavors. You know, so that's our formality. NCB Martin brings more than 15 years. So let me tell about the other person where I come in now. Since assuming role over several of its most critical operations, technology, function, and has played a key role in certain execution, discipline, blah, blah, blah. It says, Chairman, there's another part here, man. So then decline. I'm probing, guys. I'm probing. The board emphasized that leadership transition reflects continuity and stability as the bank moves from a period of stabilization into its next phase. No, you see, one of the things the bank doesn't want, the bank would not want what Andre is saying to come out if it's true. They would not verify it because, you know, NCB have a fair share issues already, and it would be a confidence issue. Like, how did that guy become a part of that board and allegedly be a part of, you know, the other company that allegedly got this loan, allegedly? If that is true, how did that even happen? What was no background check? No. You know what I mean? That would be a clear conflict of interest. That would be like them hire Andrew Holness and him wife own, him and his wife co-own a company, and then as the chairman of that board help to approve a loan to his wife company that he is also a part of. That's what it would be. Nah, that is not it. Yo, who hired? If this is true, where was the background check on all of this? Very interesting. Bangarang, ladies and gentlemen, I leave you with that, you know. There's a lot to cover. It's 3 hours. I'm here, and tomorrow is another day. And usually I don't go to bed because I got work to do either way behind the scenes. Yes. I have a video dropping early in the morning. It's an exclusive with me and London 45, talking about the various issues that have been going on in the country. So if you're on Bolo Bvrclips, look out for it. If you're on Bolo Bvrclips 2.0, look out for it as well. Dropping that in the morning, ladies and gentlemen. Later on in the morning. All right. Good. Have yourselves a wonderful night. God bless you. Thanks for being here. If you haven't hit the like button already, do so before you leave. Thank you for all the gifts on TikTok. And thank you for all the shares and likes everywhere. All right? Big up on yourself. I'm out. Bye, TikTok. YouTube. Bye.